The premium green label you pay a 70% markup for at the grocery store does not mean pesticide-free, and in many cases, the natural chemicals organic farmers spray on your produce are far more toxic to human cells than the synthetic ones they replaced. That is the documented reality buried deep within agricultural toxicology reports. For decades, a multi-billion-dollar wellness complex has sold us a beautifully packaged story about purity, survival, and clean eating. But if you look at the raw molecular data, you realize we have been paying a premium to fund a massive psychological illusion. To understand how this deception works, we have to look at the actual regulatory definitions of what organic agriculture is. Most people believe that the organic label represents a pristine, chemical-free sanctuary where crops grow untouched by human intervention. The reality is that organic farming is not about the absence of chemicals, it is about the origin of those chemicals. Under federal regulations, organic farmers are allowed to use dozens of pesticides, fungicides, and herbicides, provided they are derived from natural sources rather than synthesized in a laboratory. But here is the fundamental biological catch. Your cells do not care about the origin of a molecule, they only care about its chemical structure and toxicity. When we look at the actual compounds permitted in organic farming, we find substances that would shock the average consumer. Take copper sulfate, for instance. It is a naturally occurring inorganic compound widely used as an organic fungicide. Because it does not degrade easily in the soil, it accumulates over time, posing severe risks to soil microbes, beneficial insects, and aquatic life. In comparison, many modern synthetic fungicides are engineered to break down within days of application, leaving virtually zero trace on the final crop. The wellness industry has masterfully convinced us that natural is synonymous with harmless, while synthetic is synonymous with poison. Imagine walking down the produce aisle of your local market. You are standing in front of two displays of fresh strawberries. One display features conventional strawberries for $3, and the other features organic strawberries for $6. You feel a familiar tightening in your chest, a quiet whisper of anxiety telling you that if you choose the cheaper option, you are actively poisoning your family. You reach for the organic strawberries, willing to pay double, believing you are purchasing superior nutrition and ultimate safety. But in 2012, a massive team of researchers at Stanford University, led by Dr. Crystal Smith Spangler, published a landmark meta-analysis in the Annals of Internal Medicine. They analyzed over 230 studies comparing organic and conventional foods. What they found shook the foundation of the organic industry. There was absolutely no robust evidence that organic fruits and vegetables were more nutritious than conventional ones. The vitamin content, the mineral levels, and the overall nutritional profiles were virtually identical. Think of it like buying two identical luxury cars, but paying double for one simply because the manufacturer used natural rainwater to wash the windshield before it left the factory. The underlying engine, the performance, and the structural integrity are exactly the same. The only difference is the narrative you were sold. Natural does not mean safe. Think about the most lethal toxins known to humankind. Ricin is entirely organic. Arsenic is a naturally occurring mineral. Botulinum toxin, the most acutely lethal substance on Earth, is produced by a natural bacterium. Nature is not a gentle mother trying to nurture us. Nature is a highly competitive, chemical battlefield where plants and organisms have spent millions of years developing incredibly sophisticated, toxic defense mechanisms to survive. To truly appreciate this, we have to examine the history of the United States Department of Agriculture Organic Certification Program, which was established by the Organic Foods Production Act of 1990. The program was never designed to be a food safety standard or a nutritional guideline. The official guidelines explicitly state that the organic label is an agricultural process designation, not a statement about the healthfulness or safety of the final product. Yet, through brilliant marketing and corporate lobbying, the wellness industry has transformed this administrative process label into a moral badge of honor. Consider the organic pesticide rotenone. For decades, this natural compound, extracted from the roots of several tropical plants, was widely used by organic farmers to control pests. Because it was natural, consumers assumed it was perfectly safe. However, toxicological research eventually revealed that rotenone is highly toxic to fish and can induce Parkinson's-like symptoms in animal models by disrupting cellular mitochondria. It was eventually phased out, but its long history of organic use illustrates a critical flaw in the organic philosophy. Natural origin does not guarantee biological safety. This brings us to the ultimate paradox of plant biology. In 1990, a pioneering toxicologist named Dr. Bruce Ames published a revolutionary study in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. He and his team calculated that 99.99% of all pesticides we ingest are actually produced by the plants themselves. When a plant is attacked by insects, mold, or bacteria, it does not run away. Instead, it unleashes a wave of internal chemical weapons designed to stun, paralyze, or dissolve the cells of the attacker. We consume tens of thousands of these natural dietary pesticides every single day, and our livers have spent millions of years evolving highly efficient metabolic pathways to neutralize them. Have you ever stopped to ask why plants do not get eaten alive in the wild? It is because they are chemical factories. When we obsess over the microscopic parts per billion of synthetic pesticide residues on a conventional apple, we are completely ignoring the massive, natural chemical defense systems that already exist within that very apple. Modern synthetic pesticides are designed to mimic these natural defenses, but with one critical advantage. They can be engineered to target specific pests while remaining highly unstable, meaning they degrade rapidly under sunlight and water before the food ever reaches your kitchen. In contrast, some organic pesticides require massive application rates because they are less effective than their synthetic counterparts. Because organic farmers cannot use synthetic surfactants to make the chemicals stick to the leaves, they often have to spray their fields much more frequently. This means the total volume of chemical compounds applied to an organic field can be far higher than what is applied to a conventional field. It is a stunning irony. We pay twice as much for produce that may have been sprayed 5 times as often with natural copper solutions that persist in the environment forever, all to avoid a synthetic molecule that was precisely designed to disappear after 3 days. Stop. Let that sink in. Before you understood this, you were trapped in a cycle of health guilt. You were making decisions based on fear, believing that every conventional carrot was a tiny biological threat and every organic apple was a step toward immortality. But once you look at the toxicology data, the entire illusion collapses. You realize that your body's detoxification systems, your liver and kidneys, treat natural and synthetic compounds with the exact same biochemical process. They do not read the organic sticker on your stomach lining. They simply see molecules and process them. This realization completely changes how you walk through the grocery store. This psychological phenomenon is known in behavioral science as the health halo effect. When a product is labeled as organic, our brains unconsciously attribute a laundry list of unrelated positive qualities to it. We assume it has fewer calories, more nutrients, and is ethically superior. Food companies use this cognitive bias to sell us organic cookies, organic potato chips, and organic sodas at an astronomical markup. We willingly pay the premium because the green label temporarily quietens our health anxieties, even though the organic sugar in that cookie has the exact same metabolic impact on our pancreas as conventional white sugar. So, how do we navigate this reality without falling into the trap of either industry? We do not need to throw up our hands in defeat. Instead, we can use precise, science-backed strategies to optimize both our biological health and our financial wellness. The first and most powerful tool you can implement immediately is the 15-minute sodium bicarbonate soak. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry in 2017 demonstrated that a simple solution of water and baking soda is far more effective at removing pesticide residues than plain water or commercial organic veggie washes. To do this, simply mix 1 teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate for every 2 cups of water in a large bowl. Submerge your fruits or vegetables and let them sit for 12 to 15 minutes. The alkaline nature of the baking soda chemically degrades both synthetic and organic pesticides, breaking their molecular bonds and allowing them to be easily rinsed away. This single, cost-effective habit completely eliminates the need to pay 70% more for organic labels, as it physically removes the very residues you were trying to avoid in the first place. The second strategy is to prioritize your shopping based on structural defense mechanisms. Plants with thick, protective outer skins do not need to be purchased organic under any circumstances. Avocados, bananas, pineapples, melons, and onions have natural physical barriers that prevent any external sprays from ever reaching the edible flesh inside. Spending extra money on an organic banana is quite literally throwing your hard-earned income into a marketing abyss. Save those resources for things that actually impact your overall well-being, like sleep quality, stress management, or physical activity. The third actionable step is to shift your focus from global organic certifications to local integrated pest management. When you buy from local, in-season farms, you can often speak directly with the growers. Many of these small-scale farmers practice integrated pest management, which is a highly sophisticated ecological approach. They use natural predators, crop rotation, and physical barriers first, using highly targeted, modern synthetics only as an absolute last resort. These local foods are often fresher, have a higher nutrient density because they did not spend 2 weeks in a refrigerated shipping container, and cost a fraction of the price of imported organic supermarket alternatives. When you start to see through the greenwashed marketing, something beautiful happens. You are no longer a victim of health anxiety. You no longer walk down the grocery aisles feeling like your budget is a direct reflection of how much you love your family or how much you care about your health. You realize that health is not a luxury good designed only for those who can afford premium labels. The wellness industry has spent decades trying to convince you that wellness is expensive, complicated, and highly exclusive. But the science shows us that the most powerful elements of health are remarkably simple, highly accessible, and completely free of charge. You are now a scientifically literate consumer. You look at a green sticker and you do not see purity, you see a business model. This insight gives you back your power. You can walk past the expensive displays with a sense of quiet confidence, knowing that your body is remarkably resilient, your liver is incredibly capable, and your understanding of biology is far deeper than the marketing slogans pasted on the walls. You are in control of your health, not the grocery store. This journey of stripping away the corporate mythology surrounding our health is only just beginning. Once you learn how to look past the packaging and analyze the raw cellular science, you realize how many of our daily habits have been quietly engineered by industries that profit from our confusion. There is an even deeper, more fascinating layer to this story waiting to be uncovered. Another major wellness trend that has completely misrepresented how our cells generate energy and how we metabolize what we consume. We will explore that mechanism very soon, and it will permanently change how you think about your daily energy. Until then, keep questioning, keep analyzing, and trust the science.